Hello, listener. Welcome to episode 2 of Geoffed Up Thoughts, starring me, Jeff, as myself. If you're joining us for the first time today, welcome to the only talk show completely written, starring, and edited by a guy who never knows when to shut up. That's probably for good reason why mine's the only one. So, last week, as I discussed, I moved into my college dorm. It's quite an exciting experience, getting to see all the new places, the really cool buildings, and getting lost a lot. So if my life is secretly a TV show filmed and broadcast for the enjoyment of the rest of the world, the set designers, they really went all out this season, and they definitely deserve a raise, especially Dave. He really has to feed his kids, so help Dave out, give him a raise. Just give all of them a raise, honestly. So despite the awesome world design, I've also had a share of not so awesome experiences. To say the people on my dorm floor aren't exactly courteous most of the time. I live right at the end of my hallway, so due to the fact that fire codes exist, there's a fire door right outside my room, 2 doors down. Now, when someone exits it, it begins to blast a very high-pitched beeping noise. So picture the scene. It was late at night. It was a Friday night. I was in my room doing yoga. I was deep into the transition between Warrior 3 to Triangle 1, and I had Eye of the Tiger playing through my headphones. When I began to realize that Eye of the Tiger, the bass line was really weird today, I took out my headphones, and then I realized that either the world has a really weird bass line today, or someone has tripped the fire door. So I get out of my room. I almost forget my keys, but due to my lightning fast reflexes that I totally have, I managed to shove my foot in the door so I can run inside and grab my keys. And I run over to the RA, the one who's closer to my room. I run over to his door, and I'm like, "Hey, is that important? Should we be leaving or anything like that?" So when I hear a high-pitched beeping sound, I've been through the public education system. I know when I hear that, I'm supposed to leave. I'm supposed to do something at least. I quickly realized that I was the only one having the same reaction, I guess. A few guys stepped out of the room, they looked around, and went back in for who knows what. And alright, he gets to his door and he's like, "Oh, someone just must have walked outside through the fire door," even though we have 20 signs on the door saying, "Don't open, the alarm will sound, don't be an idiot," stuff like that. So he calls the RA on duty to get it shut off, because they have to have a special key to shut it off, and that makes sense. So 7 minutes of loud beeping later, the hero of mankind arrives. He has no shining armor, part for his black Nike sliders. So he goes in and just turns it off. I was really setting that up, but he just turns it off. He pulls a key, just whoosh, it's off, yay. So I was rather upset about, the whole alarm thing, because I was doing yoga. I was in the zone. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go to bed. Well, I really couldn't get back to sleep, so I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to read. It gets to 11:57 or something like that. And I'm like, you know what? It's late at night. Tomorrow's a Saturday, but whatever. I should probably get to bed. So I lay down in my bed, shut off the light. Not in that order. And I'm in bed. And you'd never guess what I heard. The fire door. Someone else tripped it again at 11:57 p.m. Now, lucky for me and everyone within a 300-mile radius, the RA on duty, he gave me the phone number to call them in case that happens. So I was able to summon back our glorious hero, I give him a hand this time, shutting it off, because I had to hold open this fire door, so he could actually get back inside the building. And let me tell you this, however utterly horrid the fire door's beeping is from within my room, it is astronomically worse within that small, tile-floored stairwell. Oh, the echoing in that small room. You know that noise your microwave makes when you're trying to microwave food late at night and everyone else in your house is asleep, but you're in the fridge and you're poking around for fruit, something like that, and you forget that you put something in the microwave and then the beeping goes off. It's so much louder than it usually is. Yeah, that noise. yeah, this beeping that was going on from this fire door, yeah, it makes that seem like one of those silent movies with no sound. Get it? Because it's silence. So all that hullabaloo finally comes to an end, and that really is my prime example of how fun my neighbors are around at night. I don't know if they were people from my dorm. Probably not, because they were exiting, but nonetheless, it was just aggravating. Now, granted, I'm sure they're all great people, but and I still should be treated with respect. But there's one thing that some of them do that really grinds my gears. See, I just want to preface this. See, I love country music as much as the next guy, Let me tell you, it does not rank high on the things I want to hear at 2 a.m. And with that, let's bring on our special consultant, Henry E. Ludwig, with the top 3 things Jeff would rather hear at 2 a.m. as opposed to country music.
Why, thank you, Jeffrey. We here at What's Happening in Jeff's Head Incorporated believe it is absolutely integral to inform the populace of the various things happening inside of Jeff's head. As the PR director here at WHIJHI, or Wiggy for short, it is my absolute pleasure to present this list. At number 1, we have the screams of the innocent, fleeing in terror. At number 2, we have the fireworks display from our neighbors across the street on the 4th of July. And at number 3, we have nuclear sirens. Thanks, Dr. Ludwig. Now get back to work in there. I'm sure you have plenty to figure out.
Country music, it's really quite interesting. People love to poke fun at it, and frankly, I think it's kind of unwarranted. People want to listen to songs about how one lost their truck, they lost their girl, their boat, their jeans. I say let them. Go for it. I realized this because that popular song, Old Town Road, and it combined hip-hop with country into something I like to call hick-hop. Well, it made me realize that country and hip-hop really are quite similar in many regards. Both have many musical motifs that align themselves with the, hey, yo, I'm so cool, as well as the, wow, my life really stinks. And, that made me realize that we as humans, we're like music, And, deep down, we're all human. Now, if you could take off someone's skin, they would likely die. However, if they were able to somehow survive, you would see that no matter what color we are on the inside, we're all more or less the same on the inside. Sure, we have differences in how society treats us. But when we start telling society that we are all the same deep down, we can mend these problems. When people are actually treated like people, society can truly progress. And that, dear listener, is why country is actually an allegory for society. That got weird. Despite the late-night fire alarm shenanigans and the early morning hoedowns, I have to say I do rather enjoy college so far. When I first got to college, I made my first objective to make some friends. And lo and behold, I did it. Mom, I made it! These people that I've made friends with, they're all pretty awesome. So, if you're considering yourself my friend, let me tell you, you're awesome. And you know who you are. A specific group of these friends, they all went to this grocery store event, for college orientation, and they got matching pajama pants. And just yesterday, I went with 2 of these people to the same grocery store, and so they still had the same pants. That wasn't why we went. It'd be a rather wasteful trip to the grocery store, but it was more of a happy accident. So, I feel this is the proper time in this little tale to mention the slight problem with buying these pants. This friend group, they're all girls. But Jeff, I hear you saying, what could possibly be the problem? Well, I'm sure if you remember from the old birds and the bees, I am made differently than them. So when I went to try on a pair of these amazing cat print pants, these are amazing pants, I quickly discovered there was a problem. See, as these were women's pants, there was a certain seam in an area that men's pants normally don't have. However, dear listener, fret not, for I simply grabbed a large pair of pants that are rather large everywhere else to remedy this problem. Though I gotta say, These pants are really comfy. I'm normally not a pajama pants sort of guy, you know? I like to wake up without being drenched and drowning in a pool of my own sweat. Though, it really does beg the question, what % of those puddles or tears? Though, these pants are beautiful. You know, this reminds me, back in my junior year of high school, I took to wearing a woman's coat. It was my mom's coat, actually, to be exact. It was a trench coat. It was bright red with shiny red buttons. And I remember this certain experience I had with it vividly. So, I walked into my 4th hour Spanish 3, which I had to don my persona of Javier, as we all got Spanish names, so that's what we're called in there. It's kind of like a cult, not gonna lie. And I was wearing that coat that day, because it was a cold day. So, we were going over articles of clothing. Now that I'm looking back at it, I now begin to understand why I barely understand conversational Spanish after 3 years of it, and the majority of my Spanish knowledge is vocab and culture. I kind of wish we went over, conversations. So it's kind of important. But hey, I can tell you what socks are. So when the teacher, or senora, called on me to name an article of clothing I was wearing, I took the chance to nonchalantly shout out my amazing coat. So I pointed at myself and said, El abrigo, which is Spanish for coat. Senora looks at me and she just begins to laugh at me. Now, let me tell you, Senora, she wasn't exactly the most open to this is weird to describe, but guys wearing stereotypically women's outfits or vice versa. Emphasized when we went over the vocab, and she called us for a boy and stuff like that. And now, my fashion sense basically extends to polo shirts, khaki shorts, so I am not the leading expert on fashion. However, I brought in another special guest for you guys, Patricia Marie Alonza. Oh, hello, darling. It is such a pleasure to be on Geoffed Up Thoughts. Simply marvelous, darling. So in regards to the tie being a guy thing, as the leading expert in all things fashion, as well as the unofficial official consultant for all celebrities ever, I simply must declare, wow, that's whack. Thanks, Patricia. You heard it here first, folks. That's whack. So, Senora looks at me and says something along the lines of, El abrigo de mujer, which is translated to roughly, that's a woman's coat. So, I'm not here to have my fabulous fashion sense put down, so I look at her and I say, No, Senora, es el abrigo de Javier. And, I don't really remember how exactly this exchange finished. However, I do remember how it felt. I felt belittled for wearing a coat that I simply enjoyed wearing. It was comfy and it kept me warm. And that's not nice. Though, this brings me back to the pants. Yes, they are women's pants. Yes, my friends who are girls have the same exact pair. But does this bother me? Heck no! These pants are awesome. So, the real takeaway from this is that you shouldn't care what others think about you in regards to what you wear. Because, at the end of the day, all that matters is what you think about you. I'd like to thank you all for listening, if indeed you still are, and I implore you to like and subscribe as it helps me spread these videos to more people, and to comment down below with what you want me to talk about next time. This has been Geoffed Up Thoughts Episode 2, The Pants. Thank you. Have a splendid day.